Strategy simulated greeting and welcome to Strategy Sim. This is the first voiced video on the channel, so let me know in the comments if you'd prefer this to my previous just playthrough approach. Welcome to this gameplay of Prison Architect. This game has been around for quite a while now, but it's just one of these games that you must play at least once. In Prison Architect, we'll get to plan, build, and manage everything for our prison. If you've never played Prison Architect before, you're in for a treat. I'll be treating this playthrough as a career. We'll start by planning and building a male prison, manage it for a while, before selling it and starting on a bigger female prison with harder requirements. Female inmates by default have more requirements than male inmates, but we'll get to that when the time comes. For now, let's begin. The first thing after creating a new prison is our choice of gender, followed by the warden we want to rule over our prison. The default gender choice is male. We can switch this to female, but we'll see about that later on, like I said. There are 6 wardens available to us in this build of Prison Architect, each with his or her unique perk for our prison. If you'd like to know how each warden would benefit you, feel free to pause and read through their characters. For this playthrough, we'll go with Periwinkle for his guard dog's boost to tunnel discovery, which is a big deal later on in the game. We'll start with a large plot of land which allows us to expand as much as we want. It also seems to make it a bit harder for our purposes, which is good. I'll disable Fog of War, as I feel it takes away from the gameplay, especially for a video. I'll have the game generate forests, but not lakes, as they just waste space on our land. I'll leave failure conditions on, of course, and I'll enable gangs and events for some added difficulty. Of course, I won't pick the unlimited funds option. Let's go. The game always seems to start at a corner of the plot for some reason, but this is Outland. I would like to start building our prison close to the road and in the middle of the land. That way we have more expansion options north and south. We have some trees here that our workers will have to cut before they can lay the foundations, but that's okay. Wood will come in handy later on when we build our workshop. So we'll start building westwards. I'll start the prison at this stage, right after the deliveries and garbage assigned areas here. Later on, these can be incorporated into the prison itself in their current locations. Well, not the garbage area, but the deliveries area. Let's have our first building phase somewhat central to these areas. We have the choice to build concrete or brick foundations for the prison, both similarly priced, but in my head it makes sense for a prison to have concrete foundations, making prisoner tunneling harder. So let's grab the concrete foundation tool, and these designated areas are 5 squares wide each. This is a good width for most rooms, so I think I'll just leave an extra square, then start laying the foundations. Let's start with a 30 by 30 area of concrete. I want to have it in the middle of the vacant area between the deliveries and the garbage to have the prison's main door there. Well, as much as possible. It doesn't really have to be exact. We're going to do a lot of building and tearing down as we go on anyway. Now, as the workers lazily make their way to the building site, let's put a large jail door in. It will act as the main entrance. There. And here comes the bus with the workers now. I think they'll have to wait for the supplies to lay the foundations to arrive soon, but at least they have these trees to cut till they arrive. Let's speed things up a bit. And here come our supplies. While they're doing their thing, I might as well get to planning this area of the prison. The game won't allow me to build anything before the foundations are laid, of course, so there's no point in wasting time. First thing we want is the reception in this area. But let's start by extending this wall almost all the way to the top of the map. Then close to the bottom. And the workers just finished cutting down the trees, and we'll start actually laying down the foundations now. So for the reception, I'll go 2 squares down. Let me remove this bit so I can see the door. So 2 squares down. Let's make this 5 squares long. Then again to the top, 2 squares this way, then 5 squares that way, 2 squares down, then 2 squares up, aligning with our door. And we have a reception. Our prison will extend upwards and downwards from this point. To the north of the reception, I think we'll have the offices. We'll eventually need 6 offices in total, I think, to accommodate all our office-dwelling staff members. But the foundations we're laying now won't be enough for all the offices immediately. So let's start with planning one office this way. It should be 4 by 4. This is only 3 by 3, so let's extend the wall in this direction. Leave a gap for the door there. And we have room for a second office here too, like that. The foundations seem to be coming along nicely. It's almost 11 a.m. and we have $755 now. We didn't actually build anything yet, and the money left won't be enough for us to go far, so we'll have to start looking at grants very soon. From memory, our first grant would require us to build some basic stuff, including a holding cell. I'll step 2 squares away from the reception and have the holding cell right here. The holding cell needs to be 5 by 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. The foundation is done, good. And 5 squares in the other direction. So it's a 7 by 7 room, including the walls. The workers are hard at work installing the prison lighting now, but we don't have a power source yet. We need to install a power station. I think we'll need 2 or 3 to power our entire prison, so let's try and position them strategically. If we go to utilities, we see we already have 1 power station and 1 water pump that come with our plot. Let's place the power station to the top right of the land. And while we're at it, let's also install the power pump right next to it. Okay then. Now let's extend the electric cables all the way down to here, then across westward till here. We have to be careful though, we have less than $5,000 now and we still didn't build anything, but it is what it is. Let's also extend the water pipes to our building. Whoa, that really messed up our money. Let's go ahead and build before we're completely bankrupt. Brick walls look nicer than concrete, so let's say we build the reception out of bricks. Like so. And also the offices while we're at it. I'm not really happy with the way the holding cell is positioned. Maybe if we build it 1 square below the planned, the door would look a bit more central. Well, not really. Anywho, this is the holding cell. What next? Let's go ahead and actually accept the grant. It will tell us what we need built. All the staff we have at the moment are these 8 workers grinding away. We need the grants tab. So this first grant is the Basic Detention Center grant for $30K. $20K paid up front and $10K upon completion. That's good because we need the money right about now. The idea of grants is a nice one. It gives us a nice progression for our prison and gives us some money in the process. While we're here, let's also accept this administration center grant. Again, all stuff we'll need to do soon anyway, so we might as well. We've even finished some of this already, like building 2 offices. We now have 26 and $865, which is a nice little boost to help us build stuff for our impending inmates. We now have this handy little to-do list on the left reminding us of what we need to do next. So the holding cell's already been built. We just need to put a couple of things inside it and designate it as a holding cell. Next, we need to build a shower area. For now, let's have the shower area right behind the holding cell. Let's design the shower area for dual function, toilets, and showers. Weird design in real life, but works just great in Prison Architect. Let's start by installing drains here so as not to have the shower water going everywhere. In this top left area, I'm thinking the kitchen should be put there, and maybe the canteen could go to its right, or maybe down here. But for now, let's install the showers here. I'll run a double line of drains like that. Then we can add our toilets on top of the drains. Like so, followed by shower heads on top of the toilets. And now we have a shower/toilets area capable of serving 14 inmates at the same time. Now we need to go to rooms, pick shower, and let the game know that this is our designated shower area. We need to run the main water pipe closer to the shower area. This looks fine. But our workers are still trying to install the electric cables and water pipe, so our prison still doesn't have any juice yet. Meh, they'll get to it eventually, I suppose. Next, we have the yard area. Let's put in the kitchen first, though. For the kitchen, we need a couple of cookers. Let's leave 3 squares at the edge here so we can connect to the next area we'll build and put a cooker. 2. Okay. Next, let's go for a couple of fridges. Like so. And no kitchen would be complete without the trusty old sink. There. Let's also hook up the appliances. So we'll run an electricity cable this way, like that. Then let's connect a small pipe to the main water pipe. Like that. I think it needs to be on the next row. Now, I'm not sure. Let's just wait till the appliances are actually installed and take it from there. Next on our list is the canteen. Maybe we should put it here to be close to the kitchen. We can, and most probably will, move all this stuff as we progress. Now we're only focused on getting up and running. For the canteen, we need serving tables. It's a long table. I want to put 2 in, so things will be tight in here space-wise. Okay, we also want normal tables and benches for the inmates to sit on around the tables. Let's put in the benches first. I'll leave one row in front of the serving table, then place the bench. Leave another row for the table, then place the second bench. Now we repeat this for the second row table. We'll start out with 4 tables, so I'll add the remaining benches. Now to install the actual tables. 2, 3, and 4. That looks okay. But no one's coming to actually install all this. Looks like our workers are all busy installing stuff from earlier. Let's help them out a bit by hiring another worker. Doesn't seem to have helped. Maybe they're waiting for the tables to be delivered? Those other guys are still working on installing the power station and the electric cables. Why are you all going all the way out there to the left? Well, I'll leave you to it. Looks like our new supplies have finally arrived. There are a couple of workers bringing them in. And finally, they begin the installations in the kitchen. One cooker installed. Then here comes the other. Okay then, let's find ourselves something else to do till they're finished. Let's move our garbage collection area away from the prison walls. We can have it up here. Close, but not so close. Now remove the designation of this area. As I said, eventually we'd want the deliveries area incorporated into the prison building. We can also have a storage jar in place of the garbage area. This way we can also enclose it into the prison building later on. So let's put it there. I think I'll make it a large enough area to be useful as storage space. So say 15 by 5. That seems okay. Looks like they're done installing our appliances in the kitchen, and of course the small sink pipes are in the wrong place. At least now we can see the actual kitchen area, so let's designate it as a kitchen. With a little wiggle room for expansion. And we can do the same with the canteen. There. All done. Now on our to-do list, we've checked off all the building for this grant. We now need to assign a yard area. Let's put the yard right next to the showers for now. The yard needs to be at a minimum 5 by 5, but that would be very tight for the inmates. Let's make it a bit bigger. More. Okay, 10 by 8 it is. Now we only need to hire 2 cooks and 2 guards, but let's wait a bit on that since our inmates arrive tomorrow. We haven't furnished the reception area yet, so first let's designate this area as a reception. A 6 by 4 area, and we can also designate the offices. 5 by 4? It looks like I messed up here. What about the other office? 4 by 4. So let's fix this first one. And the power went off. Was it even on? Anywho, let's demolish these walls here and build new walls 1 square below them. Where do I want the office door? I know what's going on here. They must have just finished installing the power station and the demand was too high for it. Let's take a look. Exactly. We need to add capacitors to the station to increase its efficiency. Why doesn't want to install it here? Okay. Let's install a couple more while we're here. Let's also connect the water pump to the electricity. We're going to have to keep on adding capacitors to the power station routinely. Let's check our first intake. We'll be getting 8 prisoners in the morning. will receive $3,600 for them. 2 minimum security and 6 medium security. We have power. And the power station is almost at half capacity. We don't even have any demand yet. Maybe we add a couple more capacitors while we're at it. We are ready for our intake building and infrastructure-wise. Let's connect these. And fix the last office here. All good. Now let's do the furnishing. And speed up time. Since we got some time, let me add a few more things that we'll need for our prison and for the coming grants. Phone booths, weight benches, and since we have a few thousands on us, maybe start laying some more foundations. A 25 by 25 meters area would cost us most of our money. But that's fine. Once we hire a few staff members, we'll get the remaining grant money. Less than 2 hours till our intake, so let's hire the cooks and the guards. Oh my god. I've been looking at the holding cell all this time and didn't realize I missed furnishing it and designating it. And here comes the prisoner's bus. The guards bring them into the reception one by one. Then they start processing them. Is that a needle? How dumb can you be to try and get into a prison with a needle? Didn't I tell them to build this wall section? I could have sworn. Okay, into the holding cell you go. And the foundations have been laid down. I want to keep all prisoner cells as away from the map edges as possible. This way, there's a lot of tunneling to be done before prisoners can escape. I'll probably make this area prisoner cells and dorms. Let's hire our wardens so we can start researching stuff. These Polaroids pop up in various areas from time to time. An Easter egg type thing, I think. Not sure what they do, though. This is Needle Guy, isn't it? He needs to go to solitary. Of course, we don't have solitary yet. The regime tab is where we schedule the prisoner's daily schedule. Now it's feeding time, apparently. Let's do some changes to their schedule. That should be helpful as we progress. We can't keep all our prisoners in a holding cell all the time. So let's plan, then build our actual cells. Three by 2 cells. These would be our first 5 cells, or dormitories to be precise. Prisoners are supposed to be working now, but of course we have no work for them, so they're just chilling. Back to the dorms. I'll leave a 1 square corridor, then mirror the cells we already built. There you go. That looks okay. So let's actually build them. Dismantle this light embedded in the wall there. Actually, let's designate the bottom row as cells. Then designate the other 5 as dorms. Cells can only take 1 prisoner, as I understand it, while dorms can have as many as you like. Each has their own cons and pros, so a mixture of the two is probably best. I'll have them install the drain toilet shower combo everywhere. This way it makes for less problems with time. Add normal beds to the cells. Then bunk beds in the dorms. Okay. Let's also give him something to read. So add a bookshelf in every cell. Finally, jail doors all around. Let's keep an eye on the actual prisoners. Looks like they just finished eating. Again. For the Administration Center grant, we need to research finance. So let's do that. $500 for that. And we'll need to unlock maintenance soon too, so let's spend another $500 to unlock it next. What the hey? Let's research security for another 500. And we're left with less than 3K. We have all the cells we need, but needle guys still can't be assigned anywhere. We need to build some solitary cells. Three solitary cells. Three solitary doors. Then we designate them as solitary. This section has no electricity yet, so let's fix this. Water 2. Prisoners already moved to the cells. And Needle Guy is finally in solitary. Richard Malone, 38, sentenced to 8 years for assaulting an officer. That's steep. We need to make this its own section for later on, so let's add a large jail door in this corridor. After the workers are done connecting it, otherwise they'll need the guards to keep opening the door for them, like every 2 seconds. Like they do now with the cell doors. We only have 2 guards right now. Not an optimum situation. They start to get tired quickly and are stretched so thin. This guy actually slept in the doorway. Are you serious right now? We need to build a staff room. At least the staff would have a place to rest. Where would be a good place to put it? Let's have it here. It needs to be a 4x4. Before furnishing, let's take another look at the prisoners. Mr. Malone, was it? Well, he's out of solitary. What did you do there, dude? This is not hygienic. Well, at least Officer McTired there isn't sleeping in a doorway anymore. We can't really buy or build anything since we have less than $200. I'll speed up time. We'll get a new intake in a few hours, and we'll get paid for them. It's hardly ever this peaceful in a prison, I'd imagine. Must be the calm before the storm or something. CEO letter. appointment letter to manage this prison. Let's actually delete it. Saves us a bit on screen space. That's weird. Why aren't you connected? Couple more hours for the next intake. Why aren't you cooking? Isn't it almost breakfast time? Yeah, 8 a.m. Cutting it a bit close there, chef. Prisoners are up. There they go, showering in their cells. Most of you don't even need the shower area right now. Say thank you, Warden. New bus of inmate coming, and we got paid for them. Let's hire a couple more guards to help keep things balanced. Cadwell and Turner. What are you doing? Why are you fighting? Why are you destroying stuff? And why are you naked? Scott Bird. Complete chaos right now. Looks like I nailed it on the calm before the storm. Injured prisoners. Injured officers. At least it's under control now. Those 2 new guards were hired just in time. Chislet trim in solitary. Hammers? Seriously. Looks like we have more inmates than we have cells now. Let's repeat the same pattern of cells and dorms. I'll quick clone these. Looks like I can only clone these 3 cells. There. Now the remaining 2? Not enough space. 1 then? Not enough funds. Fine. Let's just build these 3 cells then. What happened here? What did you 2 do? Are you bleeding to death in the cell? All we need now to finish this grant is hire an accountant. Which we can't do because he costs $1,000 to hire. that we should have 1K before the end of the day. But I think this episode has run on too long, so we'll hire him next time. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a full series of Prison Architect. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and tell the world about this series and this channel. I'll see you next time. Peace out.